Is up, team? Welcome back to headquarters. Your Antifa CEO here, and I have to say, it is a great day. It is a great day to be a sick left radical, not only in America, but especially in New York City, baby. That is right. We brought Shakira Law. Shakira. We brought Shakira Law to New York City with the election of Mayor-elect, sounds good to say, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. It's a great day. I don't know what it's like to feel like $1 million. You know, I'm very far from $1 million. Your CEO, not the best compensated CEO on the street. It's okay. But I have to tell you, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling inspired. And I am feeling like I'm ready for the fight. I am feeling engaged in all aspects, and that's why we wanted to make sure to be here with you on a hot episode of the Propaganda Factory Live, pushing this working class message because the working class energy continues to be strong every day, continues to get stronger. We're seeing it. Now, those centrist Democrats, Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, definitely a much more centrist candidate, but on some policies she did go a little far left. But what we have to see is that majority of the time in both of those elections in New Jersey and Virginia, we saw consistently that they were talking about a working class message. They were talking about the kitchen table ideas, things that really hit people in their pockets. And that's what we need to stay focused on. With that, let me get right into it, right at the top of the show, that I am seeing a lot of leftist infighting right now. And people will be quick to say, are we not supposed to criticize each other? Are we not supposed to have recommendations? All these things? Absolutely. But do it in private. Stop airing out our dirty laundry for all to see. That's not how we're operating anymore. That's not how we're rocking, frankly. You need to get in line. You need to get with the times. You need to see the enemy that we're facing right now and understand that you are wasting our time by not preaching the message of working class solidarity. We are not policing language. We are not policing anything other than working class solidarity values, because that is the only thing that we must be focused on right now to achieve our objectives of working class liberation. Now, if you want to be more devout, more theorized, a better read communist, all those things, more power to you. Absolutely. That's the great thing about our ideology, is that you can indulge in it as much as you see fit. And you can help to guide other people to the correct understandings of theory. However, again, let's stop attacking each other out in public. Let's stop airing it out online. Send a DM. And if you don't know how to contact them, then please join our leftist council, our inner circle. It has some great creators in there right now. We're growing every single day, and there's a ton of webs of different group chats of different creator pools happening everywhere. So make sure that you can be tapped in so that you can directly communicate with these people and express your feelings or concerns instead of tagging and sharing or screenshotting and posting, because you're attacking and you're trying to embarrass another person who claims communism, who claims socialism. And that is not our enemy right now. We're playing a fool's game. All right. So right here, right now, as your Antifa CEO, for all the world to see, as the president of all leftists, I hereby absolve all other leftists who have made, used improper words, have used bad language, because obviously either they were not aware, and if they were made aware, they were done so in a way that was directly attacking. Do it privately. Hey, bro. Hey, sis. Hey, fam. I think that the way that you said that may have some implicit harm to people you are not considering. Can we discuss some better ways to frame that message instead of hopping on, and not only that, we have to realize that comments and tagging and all of this, it is not a great form of communication in any way, shape, or form, and it only baits us into the engagement game. So as leftists, stop playing that game. Get in line, understand the assignment, and it's not me as your CEO telling you, well, in some ways, if I catch you, you will be put on a performance improvement program. But we don't have a unified face like MAGA Supreme. We don't have some unitary executive that we're trying to install. We have the working class solidarity movement as our unifying binder. So stick to it. And all of the intersectionality that we need goes right through that, the working class solidarity movement. Get on board with the branding. Get on board with the message. We see that it works because Zoran every day was out there fighting propaganda with the working class solidarity movement. Every day. And guess what? As the mayor of the largest city in the country, we're going to see him compromise. We're going to see him bring his morals and his ideals into a position that requires compromise, because we can't just wield power with iron fists. That's not how this country works. That's not how the world works. And that's not how our ideology works. And so we must be cognizant of that and operate accordingly with the unified message of working class solidarity. Let's keep it tight, people. Let's stay locked in. Let's stay focused, because that is how we are winning right now. And I'm not talking about we as the Democrats. I'm talking about we as the sick left radicals who are recruiting more and more into our numbers every day. That is who's winning right now. The working class solidarity movement, the working class solidarity message. So let's just stick to it. It's a winning message. Prices need to be lower. Absolutely. You need to be able to go to the doctor and not go bankrupt. Absolutely. You need to be able to afford a house because insurance isn't robbing you, because people aren't sailing around on mega yachts, flying around on private jets. See, we weave in everything that we need into the working class solidarity movement. The LGBTQ plus rights are weaved into the working class solidarity movement, because realistically, we're all working class. And if those people of a marginalized community are not working class, then frankly, they're not marginalized. That just kind of is what it is. I mean, look at Peter Thiel, look at Sam Altman. Do you think that they're marginalized? Do you think that those are marginalized people just because they happen to be of that certain demographic? I think not. We have to understand that the marginalization, the us versus they, the haves and the have-nots, is between the billionaires, the uber rich, the mega wealthy, and the working class people. When we stay focused on that, we see great results. Because the Democrats, and I'm calling you out, Democrats, I've been focusing on y'all because y'all have been giving me a lot to focus on. MAGA Supreme, we know what MAGA Supreme is. But the Democrats who try to claim that they are for working class people, it's a joke. It's an outright joke. We know it is a joke because, I mean, look at you. Every time you get the chance, you destroy progressive candidates. You absolutely try to you partner with the fascist right. I mean, Andrew Cuomo was literally being endorsed by Johnny Trump and every liberal Muslim talking head was boosting that message. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Democratic Party, in its current inception, in the Republicans, it's two sides of the same coin, both upholding the oppression of capitalism. And until we can imagine a different world, a different society, a different system, we're going to keep struggling. We're going to keep being oppressed because we don't have anything. We don't have anything but our voice. And a lot of people don't necessarily want to use that. I can understand why. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of everything. We don't have a lot of money. That's why I don't get on here and ask anyone for money. You know, I see a lot of bigger creators. Maybe it's because they have those large platforms. I don't know. But we see a lot of bigger creators out there. Got their PayPal, got their Venmo, got everything linked up. Send it, super chat. Yeah, thanks. That's not us. That's not us, baby. We're not rolling in the dough. We're going to get the resources. We're going to get the resources because we're out here making the content. We're going to provide you with the organization. We're going to provide you with the tools that you need to plug in. And we're going to do it together. That is my goal. Now, do we have subscriptions available? Sure, we have very minimal things that you can participate in to help us economically. However, we're not asking you to just send us money, and every stream is not centered around the sending of money. You know, because we're working class people. What are we doing? And that's one of my biggest gripes right now with the liberal influencers and the way that they operate their attention economy. Is that so much of it is spent platforming opposition, platforming hatred, and then grifting for money. Do whatever it is. I understand people have to pay the bills. You know, some people would probably be ashamed at what I have to do to pay the bills because, frankly, being the Antifa CEO online is not, it doesn't cut it. It's not the most economical choice. I can tell you that, especially since I've started using some of these buzzwords. The algorithm has not been too friendly to me. I speak directly to all of our followers and I ask, you know, we need you to, everyone to like, everyone to follow, everyone to comment, everyone to share. And some people listen. I appreciate the true core radicals that listen because that's who keeps this going. But realistically, in this fight, the fact that we do not have 50% engagement on all platforms, and yes, maybe I'm the one that's being crazy, I don't know. But when the stakes are this high, and when the messages we're putting out is this hot, when we're not seeing 50% of engagement on every single thing we're putting out, I don't think people are fighting because this is the most free and easy way for you to fight back. So maybe that's my thing. Maybe that's why I don't get on here and beg for the money, because the free and easy access things I make available to y'all, not everybody takes seriously. To the core radicals who do, though, I appreciate you. Your numbers are growing stronger every day, and I do understand how this game operates. I do understand that it does take time. But we might not have a lot of time available to us, even with the elections that occurred. Even though we do have some degrees of hope, realistically, the federal government still wields enormous power to bend states to its will. And absent of states banding together to push back in all ways possible, there are few resources that are available to the states to actually withstand what's, obviously going on. I mean, we see it constantly. It's upping. It's getting more serious every day. The Trump administration is getting more intense every day with the constant barrage on the Constitution, with the constant barrage on our freedoms, our First Amendment rights. I mean, hell, honestly, our Second Amendment rights are all of our rights. They're getting into the Third Amendment. Don't quarter soldiers the way that they're, sending these troops around and stuff like that. I mean, what's really going on in this country? Because look, as fiery as I get about the history of our country and understanding that it was built on the brutalization of the working class people, it was built on the subjugation of those without property, those without money, I do understand that the ideals of this country is that some unitary executive would never exist to just be able to wield power willy-nilly. That was never supposed to be a thing. And the way that this president speaks, the way that this administration behaves, it spits in the face of everything that has come before it. And realistically, I mean, even some of the most racist presidents that have ever existed in our country. And we have to really sit here and think that the first 30 presidents, majority, they were all of them were supremacist, racist, all the things. And even they didn't get on the public stage and speak the way and behave the way that this person is behaving in the context of the law, and hell, in the context of the bodies that was being subjugated. You know, the federal government was not making propaganda cuts. You know, about the way that they were treating brown bodies. Now, the states, we could talk about the states. We can talk about some of the things that the states were doing and whatnot. And I think it's funny that we see the political flip that happens in this country, that we see that the Democratic Party of today is currently becoming an institution of states' rights, again, ironically. In the Republican government is going back to a strong federal nationalized government, but one that is stronger than ever before, with more tools than we've ever seen. And never before until this administration, until the institution of Doge by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has all of the data from the government been coordinated. And what the easiest way to put it is, it's all been siloed. It's all been separate. But now it's been unified to be tapped in and commingled between the different organizations, which that in and of itself in some ways is actually illegal. But there is no enforcement of any types of laws to restrict the power of the government right now, because the people in power want maximum power. They want the maximum ability to do as much damage as possible, and they're going to continue to do such because it is in their interest. They work for the billionaires. That's why, even though the Democrats won, I'll give Zoran. We're giving Zoran the dub, but the rest of them, not really a dub. When you look at California, sure, it looks cool that we are able. I say we because, you know, part of being on the left, we have the Democratic Party. It's not really left, but it's the only performative mechanism that we have to express our true political power at a national unified level. So it is good, sure, not really, but it, you know, with California, them passing the gerrymandering bill, but that's really not good. Excuse me. That's really not good. That gets back to the states, the parties, the parties, the party systems, which we hate today. They're just getting stronger. And the fact that the California just passed this, it realistically, it damns any third party from ever being able to exist in America, because they'll never be able to exist in California. They can just be gerrymandered out. And even though, this is the thing, I know it sounds crazy, but even though that it technically diverts back in 2030, we already know what's going to happen is that there's going to be some fascist right, some MAGA lunatic, whatever the powers that be that we'll be facing then will require us to repeal it indefinitely and give the Democrat unfettered unitary party control over California. And this is not good. This is not healthy for anyone. Majority of the negatives that we see in the South, the way that the South was with the failed Reconstruction, the failure of Reconstruction, and the underdevelopment of the South for the majority of modern history, was a direct result of the national government allowing for that unitary party coalition to take root in all of these different states. And we see the reflections of that today, where many of the southern states are still non-competitive when it comes to state party politics, whether that be the flip from the Democrats to the Republicans over the late 90s and 2000s, or the supermajorities that we see today. Now, granted, a little bit of a supermajority busted up in Mississippi, but hey, you know, that power's still limited. And again, it goes back to the Democratic Party, which is something that we actually do not like right now because it is owned by the billionaires. It's a billionaire-funded opposition party, and we're giving them more control, more power over the entire apparatus of our government. I don't understand how we expect anything good to come from that, and it really just gets us closer to the foundation of this country with the 3/5 compromise, because what we're allowing is for a small group of select people to subjugate enormous masses of people, you know? And I'm not, in an ideal world, I'm not going to sit here and say that in an ideal world, opposing thoughts and ideas have to be able to politically organize and elect representation, because that's, we all know the things, we all know the good things, we love those things, absolutely. However, with the hateful ideology that's co-opted the right wing, realistically, because we did not handle the post-reconstruction of the South correctly, it puts us in a dangerous place, and it allows for fascism to continue to fester in our country, to continue to just creep its way through every little nook and cranny. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy on all sides. You know, that's the thing about it, is on the left, it's funny the parallels that we have with the right. As someone who's actually spent a lot of time and spends a lot of time consuming right-wing propaganda, know your enemy, on the left, we have a lot of versions of things that we've come up for on the right. Like the concept of the incel is the same concept, you know, when we were just speaking earlier about the infighting, the leftist infighting and the policing of language and things like that. That is actually our leftist version of the concept of incel, because it's like the virginity of theory. You know, it's like, oh, you're so virgin theory, or you're so just, you know, you have to be celibate and chaste and all these things. It you know, they really go hand in hand. Because it plays to something psychologically, because it's all a cult, you know. And look, I'm part of it. I'm literally the CEO. I'm not sitting here saying that I don't understand the game that I'm playing. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm better than that. Not in any way, shape, or form. I like the sauce. I play in the sauce. I dip in the sauce, dance in the sauce. The sauce is a great time. I'm just saying we really need to be cognizant of what we're doing right now, and we need to make sure that the motion is constant in the direction of the working class solidarity movement. Now, I forgot to get to our sponsors. Today's episode of the Propaganda Factory is brought to you by Liquidate the Billionaires. That's right, Liquidate the Billionaires, with the ambitious goal to turn every mega yacht into a coral reef. Please tap in and join Team Liquidate today. Make sure to stay hydrated and stay subversive. Team Liquidate. We are also making sure to plug Veau Noire. That's VOIXNOIRE, to make sure that you are helping to feed a family this holiday season. Please tap into Veau Noire. They are focusing on brown and marginalized bodies, the most oppressed bodies right now. So back to working class solidarity. And I have to say, just a true moment of authenticity. I really appreciate everyone, and I always give my admiration to y'all. Because without y'all, I am nothing. I am no CEO of anything. Without the 47,000 followers on Facebook, on the Propaganda Factory, the 140 on Memes That Can Save the World, the 26,000 on TikTok, you know, the followers that were growing on Substack and YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music and all the places, you know, I have to say thank you from the bottom of my sick left radical heart. Thank you for allowing me to be your voice, for allowing me to fight for you every day, for allowing me to push the working class solidarity movement. Thank you. This has been the honor of my life, and I will continue to do it. eagerly, because every day it's getting easier. It's getting easier to speak to you freely and fluently. I don't prepare any material. And you can probably hear it from the way that the show goes, from the way that the cadence of the speaking goes. Who knows? I don't know. And I don't edit the show. I just do one raw, gritty take, and then I just throw that right in. Because why would I sit here and piece together some picture of myself that I am not? I want you to see me for exactly who I am. A sick left radical who can speak a little bit okay. I'm just a simple chemist. I'm not going to sit on here and do any chemistry on camera. But I feel a little bit of chemistry now between me and you. I feel a little bit of energy going towards the working class solidarity movement. So if you are new, just let me radicalize you slowly. You can see a lot of the sick left radicals that have been here for a while, the nicest people I've ever met, the smartest people I've ever met. We are building something real. And every day I have new creators reaching out to me to join their networks, to tap into our networks, to have us on their platforms, to tap into our platforms, because they see what we are building is true, authentic, real, palpable, all the things. They see that what we're building is based on compassion, empathy, love, subversion, resistance. And that's why the billionaires are scared. Because everything that we are building is what they're scared of. Because that's what they're trying to tear down. They're trying to tear down our communities so that we cannot find the strength to fight back against them. They're trying to tear down our ability to access food so that we are too hungry to fight back against them. They are trying to keep us sick and desperate and divided between cultural BS, between the choice of words, between whatever semantic, when the true division is between the working class people, the working class solidarity movement, and the billionaires. It's just that simple. That is why they are scared, is because there's more people today preaching that message than there has ever been before in the history of humanity. And there's more of us than there's ever been before in the history of humanity. There's more billionaires than there's ever been in any time before in the history of humanity, but we outnumber them so significantly that it does not make any sense that we allow them to continually subjugate us. It is time for us to liquidate the billionaire class, to liberate the houses, to liberate the food, to liberate the health care. It's time for the working class people to realize a free life. Not free that we just sit around and don't do anything, because many of us, all of us, every one of us, works harder on our lightest day than all of the billionaires combined, because the billionaires do not work. They make money off equity that is stolen from us, that they accumulate and allow to grow. If that equity would have stayed in our communities, would have stayed in our portfolio, then we would have all been allowed to grow. But this country was built on funneling things to those who have it and taking it from those who don't. But we don't have anything left to give you, billionaires. We do not. You've taken so much. You've spread us so thin. We do not have anything left to give you. In fact, the one thing that we do have left to give you, I do not think you would be interested in. If I'm just being openly, brutally honest, billionaires, you have beaten and pushed us down so much that what the little bit that we have left to give you, you would not want it, because it would cost you, well, it would cost you billions. All your billions. It would cost you all your billions. And we're right there. We're right there on the edge. We all feel it. We're right there on the edge, pushing every day. And we will continue to push. We will continue to platform people who say the things that we want to say. We will continue to make sure that the people who may say a word or two that we disagree with, we will pull them aside privately and say, hey, buddy, let's just make sure that we're communicating effectively to the masses. Because, look, I have people tell me things all the time. And the way that people tell it to me, I can tell you right now, because we don't have a direct line of communication, it always comes off as, I don't know. And I don't usually take it the way I probably should take it. Sometimes I take it the right way and I try to alter course. But other times I'm often annoyed. It often makes me feel combative because it seems like they're coming at me combatively, because the only types of communication that we have in that context is always combative. And so we need to make sure that we have neutral platforms, neutral places for all of us leftist creators to come together and effectively communicate between each other. We need to have regular meetings. We need to have communication sessions, planning, PowerPoints, all the things that Fox News says that we have. We need to make sure to actually have them and actually do them. Because if we start doing them, if we start right now as your CEO, look, I've started just this year. Just this year, I decided I'm going to go on TikTok. I'm going to push. I'm going to get some followers, all the things. Just this year, I went from, up to 26,000 followers. Now we're live streaming almost every day. Now we're doing video content almost every day. Now, just from that innovation, our platform has quadrupled just because we've gained access to so many different creators in our network every day. And so if we just continue with just that plan, with just that energy in motion, extrapolate that out 6 months, then you're looking at before those midterms, we are going to be in an amazing position, a position that the right has never seen before, because we're seeing a unified left coming together. We saw it in New York. We're seeing that energy be transferred across the entire country. We've seen it for No King's Day. We're going to see it for the economic blackout November 25th through December 2nd. We're seeing the working class liberation movement cobble itself together. And I'm having to ask, let's do more. Let's just keep pushing. Let's keep this energy going. Let's stop fighting amongst ourselves, focus on the enemy, get the job done, and then we can figure out whose ideals are better, whose words are better, whose what is better. Because right now, what we have is crap. And so when we're rolling around in the crap, fighting in the crap, I don't want to be a pig in the crap anymore. All right? I want to be a dignified human being. I want to be a dignified human being who has access to housing, health care, and food without coercion. Because capitalism is not built on a free and voluntary exchange of anything. It is built on coercion. So, with that being said, we're going to cut today a little early. I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate you. Please stay safe and subversive. Congratulations to Zaran. We've brought Shakira Law to New York City, everybody. It's a great day and your CEO is happy, but we are busy. As you can imagine, with all of this talk of communism and socialism in the news, we are heating up and these recruitment numbers are getting stronger. So your Antifa CEO is going to continue to work to try to match your energy, to try to match your amazing recruitment numbers. I have to be out there. We've been doing some great mutual aid drives on our TikToks with our new community that we built with Joey. They have a great community. I keep plugging him because I like what Joey's doing. Joey, Latin, lesbian. Great community, great people. Haven't been on live with them for a couple of days just because I've been busy in the personal life as well. It's a lot. We're running around doing a lot. We're stretching ourselves thin. That's why I always stress to you, drink your water. Do your cardio, stay focused and centered in the ideals that are pushing us forward. Stop fighting people who claim communism and socialism. Look out for the FBI agents. Look out for the operatives that are operating within our ranks. If you're not seeing a face, I'd be a little skeptical right now. If you're not seeing a face and a voice constantly, I'd be a little skeptical, because how do you know that that person is not co-opted? How do you know that that page is not being used to incite division into our ranks? And I know that people want to be anonymous. I have no problem with being anonymous. I don't put my name or anything out there. But right now, if you're not seeing a face and a voice, I'd be very wary of those people, and I would right now flock to those who are being the most authentic every day, the most original every day, organizing, pushing, fighting, doing everything, because that's the energy that we need right now. We need to continue to play with fire. We need to continue to match that billionaire energy. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Stay subversive. Liquidate the billionaires. Help feed a family this holiday season with Vote Noir. All the things. Your Antifa CEO is out. Thank you.